Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome to my review for Insidious Chapter Dos, which of course is the sequel to 2011's pretty monster hit for the most part, Insidious. I say that because it made about 100 million, which, you know, considering blockbusters nowadays, that's like nothing. That's like almost a one-day take for some movies like Iron Man. But it was a monster hit because it didn't cost no 200 million or even 20 million. It cost like $1 million to make. So 100 million, hey, that's like a 1,000% increase. Yeah, that's like if you increase the budget 1,000%, that's like how much it made, and it made a ton of money. So of course a sequel was greenlit, especially since the first movie ended with pretty much sequel time. So here's the sequel. I loved the first one. It had a great atmosphere, fantastic characters, really likable, and some great acting. I was looking forward to this because it's a continuation. I wanted to see where it was going to go next. What did I think of it? Well, let's talk about the story. Alright, so the story for Insidious Chapter 2, I don't really want to spoil what happened at the end of Insidious 1, and I will have to do that if I want to talk about the story here. So I'm going to be as vague as possible, okay? The story follows the Lamberts once again. You got Patrick Wilson, you got Rose Byrne, and you got the two kids and the little baby. And the first movie, they were haunted by ghosts, some weird stuff was happening, they would get attacked by something here and there, whatever, it was a ghost story, you know. And in this movie, it's pretty much the same thing. They think that all of the stuff that happened in Insidious 1 is over, and they're going to live as a completely happy family, and that would make a boring movie if that was true. Of course, it's not true, and the ghostly apparitions start, coming back again, attacking the family and whatnot, and there might be one family member that might be a little bit possessed. Just gonna say that. That might actually be kind of a spoiler, but you know what? Let me just say that. One person might be possessed, and that might be the reason why they're still getting haunted by these apparition ghost things. So that's all I'm gonna say. I'm being as vague as possible because, again, this is a continuation. It doesn't follow a completely different family or whatnot. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. So there you go. There's the story for Insidious Chapter 2. Now, the story in the first Insidious was not amazing. Definitely not. But I really enjoyed it because it gave us some really likable characters, some great chemistry between Rose Byrne and Patrick Wilson's characters, and of course, that atmosphere. That atmosphere was there completely. It was actually very creepy, at least the first time we watch it. If you watch it over and over again, it'll start to lose its, creepy factor. But still, it was a very entertaining movie, and it was actually highly rewatchable because you like the characters so much. And even though it's creepy, at times it could just be so goofy that it's hilarious. And, James Wan, the director, wanted it to feel very goofy, but still very kind of creepy. And I felt they did that same thing in this one to a lesser extent. I don't think it's as scary. I don't feel that chemistry as much as I used to, and I don't like the characters as much as I did in Insidious 1. That being said, I still really liked where this plot was going. There's actually more of a plot in this film, which I thought was really cool. While there was kind of a main villain in Insidious 1, here you actually find out that there is a just straight up main villain here, and you actually get to know the backstory of that villain, and you get to see some creepy little flashbacks involving Patrick Wilson's mother, played by Barbara Hershey, and Lynn Shaye's character, who was the paranormal investigator from the first film, who she's also younger, and you get to see some flashbacks like that, so you get to see more of the story unfold. And what I really like is that this movie actually connects itself very well with Insidious 1. It actually gives a lot of little things like, oh, remember that jump scare in Insidious 1? Here's why it happened. And I thought that was really cool. So even though the story, well, not the story, the characters and the chemistry and whatnot, and the atmosphere and the scares aren't as big as they were in the first one, I think this is a nice continuation, overall. Now, like I said before, the characters aren't as likable as they were in the original film. I still think the acting here is very strong. Patrick Wilson, who we just saw in The Conjuring, also directed by James Wan, was fantastic in that film, and he's really good in this. I mean, he's always freaking charismatic as all hell. He's always likable, and here he plays kind of a different role than he did in the original, which I won't say why because it's a spoiler, but let's just say this: he does a damn good job, and he's always likable. Now, Rose Byrne, on the other hand, I thought she was kind of kind of forgettable in the first film, but not terrible, not bad at all. She was good. And she's good in this, and she does actually do a little bit more in this film than she did in the last one, but still she's not the best character out there. But I will tell you this, Lin Shaye, who was in the original film, is back in this one, and she is awesome. I love her in the original film, and I love her in this one too. Lin Shaye is always welcomed in the Book of Gore, whatever the fuck that means. And I don't know. And Barbara Hershey, of course, who is another horror veteran, is back in this one playing Patrick Wilson's mother, and in real life, that's his mother. No, in the movie, that's, you know, she plays his mother, and she does a great job as well. So overall, the acting is very strong here. So overall, while the acting is very strong, and I really like where the story goes and how it connects between the first and second movie, I still think it's not as scary as the original, and the atmosphere, while it's still good, is not as good as it was in the original, mostly because it was so surprising how very well done it was in the first film, because it was new. Here they're just building upon it, and it's still good, and the characters are still likable, and it is scary, but it's just not as scary as the original, and I'm sorry I have to keep comparing it, but it is the sequel, so it's not even really, it's a sequel, but it's a continuation, so it's not even a completely different, you know, story with different characters. No, it's a continuation, so I'm supposed to compare it. Sorry. So, I really enjoyed it, though. It was still a damn good movie, and I really enjoyed it. Definitely go check it out. Even when you're not being scared, you really like where the story's going, and even when it gets ridiculous and silly, it's enjoyable. You laugh, and I think James Wan wanted you to laugh at times. So, you know what? Overall, I give this a 31 out of 40. I still very much enjoyed Insidious Chapter 2. I don't agree with the reviewers. No. So there you go. There's my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, and goodbye.